Hello YouTube, this is xLoGisTicZz's here, and today we're back playing FTB Insanity on the Retro SSP map pack on the FTB launcher. Today we last episode we ended off by building this rotary macerator, and now we need to start off upgrading all of these, and also we need to decide the next challenge we're going to work towards. So let's head back over to the FTB monument, and of course we're going to lose a bit of a frame rate here. And it seems the logical next challenge is the Bronze Age. And I did get a screenshot of that last time, I think. But I know for a fact that we was given for the last challenge, we were given, I think it was pumpkin seeds. Might be around the end. There they are. Pumpkin seeds. Now, we need to grow some pumpkins. Just simply we do. Because we need to use those to get to melons, because we actually need melons as well. So if we just hoe that, and we should have a crop left over. Now if we plant the crop and then plant the pumpkin seeds, they should grow. I believe we can even bone meal it. I don't know what bone meal does, but it might do something. Might as well give it a shot, and we'll just teach the hoe to the transmutation table. See, their bone meal was used up. Now we're just going to put the coal dust in there to start macerating. And let's just... So we've got a few diamonds. I suppose what we could do is if we just burn these up and get fairly large amounts of iron, 3 stacks, and we just start cooking it up into refined iron. I know this is the most efficient splitting of it, but oh well. And while that cooks up, we'll go, ooh, life bug. Don't know what caused that. We'll come over here. Oh yeah, I forgot we overloaded this day, right? Let's get the flax seeds, the normal seeds, and the flowers out. We will continue to overload it, actually. Because I can just come in and pull out the seeds themselves. And just pull out some diamonds. I want some bones, I want diamonds. There we go. Now my aim is to get 3 stacks of tin, and then hopefully 3 stacks of bronze. Now that's going to take all the AMC, but what that's going to do is it's going to create a lot of these mixed metal ingots, which we'll then use later on to make a lot of advanced machines. We will need it later on, so we're not really wasting anything. And let's make those into all carbon plates. Draw them in the compressor. Now another thing I think we need to do is we need to set up a device called an electrolyzer. This is a recipe for the electrolyzer, so let's make that now. We've got some rubber. Actually going to need a bit more of that. We're going to need a bit of copper. So if we just target tin, we should be able to get like 6 copper. We're actually going to need 14 ourselves. Oh no, we've got cells in there already. Take that. And we should have enough refined iron to spare for this because of the fact that we're making loads of refined iron in there. So I'm just going to show the other recipe for copper cables, so you can make the insulated and then make normal copper cables. Even though I already had a load, might as well make a few more because we will eventually use them. And so the recipe for this was... Is that the other way around? Yes, it is. There we go. Now, what an electrolyzer does, it's basically every industrial craft storage block for energy has a limit, as you can probably guess, for the amount it can store. So for the MFE, it's 600,000. For the MFSU, it's 10 million. For the bat box, it's 40k, I think. And so, that's the only types of storage blocks. But sometimes you want to store more in one block. So what you can do is you can use the device called the electrolyzer, and what the electrolyzer will basically do is it will take energy out of an adjacent energy storage block and store it in water cells and turn them into electrolyzed water cells. Now you lose energy doing this, but what it can do is like it creates basically a stored item that can store energy, and when the MFSU is below a certain amount, it releases the energy back into the MFSU, and when it's above a certain amount, it takes it out. And this can just act as an extra storage. But in our case, we're just going to use the electrolyzed water cells in a recipe. That's the only use for them in our kind of situation, is that they're using the advanced extractor, or the, is it the centrifuge extractor? I'm not quite sure, it might be the, yeah, it's the centrifuge extractor that it's used in, whereas everything else uses more, I wouldn't say basic, we have use a lot of energy, I wouldn't say basic components, but they use more easier to get components, like the macerator, as we saw, you find iron, the electric furnace uses copper, I believe, and the compressor uses obsidian. So in total, those items are a lot easier to get than these electrolyzed cells, and they take a long time to create, so we might as well get them started now, because we're actually going to be for a challenge that is coming up, needing the thingy extractor, so we might as well get them working now. We need to pop back over here, let's put those in there, and we'll compress them in a minute, but let's head back over to the dark room, which is our main source of EMC still, which we do need to move away from as soon as we can, so we can generate a lot more EMC, because that thing is pretty slow compared to other ways. I mean, if you wanted more EMC, you could set another one up, I suppose, but I don't see why you would want to set two up when you can move on soon to another one. Maybe someone else could try that tactic and see if they actually get it done faster, like they get more EMC in the early games so they can progress faster, but I mean, I haven't had to AFK for a limited amount of time, like waiting for something to happen yet, so it seems like the time is going pretty well. So I think what we should upgrade now is, let's upgrade the furnace. We'll do the furnace now. So let's get some copper. Choose our wrench and pick up our furnace. Did we get it? Yes, we did. Because there's I think in this version there's still a small chance to break the item when you pick it up with a wrench. It's still like that in normal industrial craft, but you can use the electric wrench, and you know, basically with the electric wrench you can pick it up in lossless mode, which uses a lot more energy but guarantees that you'll pick it up with no chance of breaking it, which, if I'm honest, the chance is so low anyway that really doesn't matter how much the chance is. So yeah, now that we've made the induction furnace, as you can see, its percentage level, like everything else, is heat. Now, unlike these three, this is from normal IC2, or you could say vanilla IC2, so the basic IC2, whereas these are from the advanced machine add-on, these machines. So I suppose let's make the singularity compressor now. Stack of obsidian. You don't need a stack of obsidian, by the way, it's just it makes it easier because I can just burn it up straight afterwards. And this is the beauty of equivalent exchange. Unfortunately, we don't have a version like this in the later versions of the Minecraft, so we just have to put up with these versions. And as an example of it breaking, that was nothing though. I mean, what did I lose then? I lost an electronic circuit and a bit of smooth stone, which I had the materials to build an electronic circuit on me already. And smooth stone, smooth stone. There we go. There's a singularity compressor, and because of where it is, it's not going to get powered by this lever, so we just have to make a new lever pretty simply and put it on there. Now that's electrolyzing. We're going to leave that. And what I'm going to do is I actually don't think I did get a screenshot of the Bronze Age. I think I got a screenshot of that one, but I didn't get one of the Bronze Age. I know I'm stupid bringing in a lot of valuable stuff to the monument, but oh well. Bronze Age. F2. There we go. So what I'm going to do is load that up on my second monitor as I usually do. And what that sometimes can do when I alt tab out, it actually cuts the video and it causes a glitch where the sound continues on, whereas the video doesn't, because I record in full screen. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to cut the video here for like a second, load up that screenshot, and then I'll bring you guys right back. And then, as you can see, we are back, and yeah, I've got it on my monitor. So first things first is we need to build. What we need to do also is one of these items, which is the Rainmaker, requires a carpenter. So we do need to set up a little system for a carpenter and a way to keep it full of water. Now, if I'm honest, I'm probably just going to do it so you have to fill it manually. But we need power, and I'm probably going to use like a Stirling engine or something like that. But as you can see, all our refined iron's cooked up, which is great. We can use that a lot now. Might be like I'm cooking too much up, but when we get to making those solar panels, that is not going to be too much. What's the speed on that compressor? Oh well. So let's just deposit some of our stuff in here that is industrial craft related. I'll take the redstone. And we'll just convert everything else back up into ENC so we can put that into our Klein star. So the first thing we need to make is a carpenter, and this challenge is actually not as expensive as the last challenge ENC wise, but it requires the use of various amounts of machines, especially if you've took it upon yourself to update forestry in your pack. You'll need to create a thermionic fabricator and use the electron tubes to make the machines. But because I haven't updated, because I don't want to mess with the pack, we can use it. But but as you can see, we have a Bealyzer, but we can't make the standalone version, and that's the downside of not upgrading. If you was to upgrade, you get the like the version of the Bealyzer that just would like normally work, if you know what I mean. Like it was standalone, you just sit it on the ground and you could pipe in and all that, and that's very useful when we get onto bees and automation of bees, so we can auto analyze them and then sort them. But if I'm honest, if I was to update it, would make so many recipes more harder, especially for this challenge, so there's not really much point in updating. So if we just search up the carpenter recipe, that is pretty cheap. There we go. So we're actually going to make two carpenters, one for our use and one for the monument. This is important because you have to hand it in, obviously, and you're not going to be able to keep it. So I'm just going to put this, yeah, good spot. And the way carpenter works is you just put a recipe in there, and then you'll get an output, and there's input for water cells and cans there. So how I'm going to do the water, so I'll burn up that bronze. I should be able to get 3 tin. Let's see if we can get another 3 tin, and we're going to make a different type of cell. It's called the empty can, and this is from forestry, and it's just another way to store water. And the reason I'm using the empty cans instead of the empty cells is if you craft them, you get the same amount per piece of tin. So I'll use 6 pieces of tin, and I got 24. The other recipe would have used 8, but I would have got 32. but I don't know whether those cells actually work in the carpenter. So there's that. So the main reason I got the carpenter is because one of the recipes needs the carpenter. I don't know why I got 10, but that's okay. And one of these is the Rainmaker. And the Rainmaker is, search it up, Rainmaker requires this harder machine, and you can't look it up because it's actually made in Carpenter, as you can see. But we need to power the Carpenter, and I'm going to do that via, I need wood, via using it's going to either be called a steam engine or a Stirling engine, because I did change the name. I think it's a steam engine in this version, yeah. Steam engine. And this just takes any sort of burnable item, so anything that you can put in the fuel slot of a furnace can go in here, and this is good because we can get charcoal, which lasts as long as coal, obviously. But as a lower EMC value with coal to match up with wood. So we'll put that in there, and we'll put a level on that. And this is going to provide power slowly, so that's why I've set that up to start off with. Our electronic water cells are nearly done. They're done. Compress more of those. Boy, time flies when you're playing this. So let's start off. We've done the carpenter. Let's do the forest. That takes any sort of farm. So, in my example, I tend to use a normal farm. Actually takes 4 diamonds as well, which is crazy. It actually might be more expensive, I don't know. I didn't realise there was this many recipes that use diamonds. But I can tell you for a fact that it's more complicated, in my opinion, than the IC2 machines. The IC2 machines generally follow the same kind of like rules in recipes, if you get what I mean. Let's take the first. I remember when a dark room was first developed, you had to filter out the indigo flowers because they didn't have an EMC value. So you have to filter them and turn them into like dye, and that had an EMC value or something like that. I think you have to combine them with like another type of dye and get an EMC value, dye that's got an EMC value. Pretty weird, but when the EMC value was added for indigo flowers, it made things a lot easier. But there's the forester. So next is the mushroom picker, and that comes from the logger, which is diamonds. Yeah, this is definitely more expensive. That still hasn't grown. That's on 6. I suppose we can make the materials for the logger now. Logger. How many diamonds have we got in here? This is the problem, EMC generation. You get to a point where you need more EMC. But that should be enough for 1 diamond there, easily. Yeah, enough for 2 diamonds, isn't it? And also, there we go. How's this doing? Oh, I have to click on it like an idiot. Yeah, you have to click on it. But don't worry, I haven't been wasting energy. It got up to there anyway. The reason you have to click on it is it's because basically the carpenter's like an automatic crafting table that you pipe items in, and they will automatically fall into slots. So it just checks the amount of items in the slot, and it just, like, say if this slot had 2, this had 2, this had 2, it would land in there, and it just keeps going like that. So we can turn that off, and they've got a harder machine. We're gonna need 4 more diamonds to go with that to make the Rainmaker, but actually no, we need tin gear, so we can make that now. There we go. Mushroom picker. Let's make the biogas engine now, and the biogas engine is pretty simple. We can make it right here. No, we can't. We need more wood. I'm just going to stack a wood out, so that we can use it for other things. So we're going to need, as all engines go, we need two wooden gears, and we need stone gears, and now we're going to create a gear that's unique to forestry, and that's bronze gears. Then you put the bronze gears like you would do normally, and you always match the item. And the reason the bronze colour is like this is because this is IC2 bronze, and the forestry bronze is that sort of colour. And there's a biogas engine, and they just run on biogas, which is something we might look into making biogas engines. I'm not quite sure. I think we're probably going to end up going with combustion engines to run everything with oil. If I'm honest, it produces the most power in this version, and I mean, I need the biogas for other things, so I might as well just use the fuel, because I can pull that straight from EMC, with a system that I designed. Basically just deploys a bucket of oil and a pump picks it up, and then the bucket's recycled. But there's a rainmaker, and that would be useful to us, because we could stop this rain that we keep getting. Seems to go off for like 10 seconds and then come back on. And as you can see, this has grown, so if we just click on it, you see how we've got a pumpkin? Takes the pumpkin to the table, and if we just grab a philosopher's stone and do that, we get melon. Break the melon, turn one into melon seeds, teach the melon seeds, teach the melon, and pull out 9 melons, and then make a melon block, and teach that. That's simple. Now, the reason that I did that, and taught that, is because we need a pumpkin farm for this challenge, and a pumpkin farm actually takes those items to be made. So I needed them in the block form, because that's the item type that they require. But as you can see, we're definitely overloading it, as you can tell. Let's just pull these indigo flowers out. Yellow flowers. So now that we've got that, we've got some more EMC. We've got our 7 ones of those. We need 2 of you, 8 of you, 2 of you. Right, now we need a machine block, and then we just combine the advanced alloy with the carbon plates, and we get another advanced machine block. Use our wrench, don't break. I hate making these because of the amount of tree taps you have to use, and they're just annoying because they don't stack. And there's our centrifuge extractor. So now we have all of our advanced machines set up. This is important because we will be using these machines heavily in a few challenges, such as the solar panel one. We'll probably hook up like a logistics crafting network using logistics pipes just to connect to this. I mean, we don't have hoppers, do we? No, because we could use satellite pipes. I mean, ooh, I haven't thought of that. Could use that. We could put a relay or 2 on top of here, and then put like a normal, like a crafting pipe on the side. I'll have to put these levers on the bottom underneath, like 4 levers underneath. But we can put like a crafting pipe on the side, on the front, and have a satellite pipe up to the top. We could do that. Because the issue I used to have is that you overload the centrifuge extractor and the macerator when you try to do large batches, because the amount of stuff you have to produce rubber wise is just insane. And look, this is before Minecraft resize the texture, the hitbox around to the side of the chest. So, you tried to click the furniture, open the chest. Now if you go into Minecraft, it's actually around the chest, so you can actually click through the gap and click on the furnace. But let's get back to things. So we need to make an electrical engine, and this is an engine that produces Minecraft fuels and runs on EU, which is IC2 power. So it's basically a way to turn IC2 power into Buildcraft power, which, if you didn't know, that's what MJ's is. MJ's is Buildcraft power. MJs are starting to be used by increasingly more mods. One of the big ones is 7 expansion. And in the later versions of Forestry, you can use circuit boards, and you can upgrade. You can put things on the circuit board, those electron tubes that I talked about. We can break this as well. You can put those electron tubes onto the circuit board, and what it will do is it will upgrade it so you can basically add effects to the engine, so it will produce more EU, but it'll use more EU, but it will produce more MJ, if you get what I mean. And you can also decrease the amount of EU it uses, but it only decreases it by 1. So yeah. Oh, this is before the iron to gold, iron normal to iron chest upgrades were added. Annoying. I'll take everything out of this inventory now. Now you might be like, why aren't I using the dark matter pick as my main pick when I'm up here? And that's just fear of losing it. I mean, when I get a Swift Wolf ring, I will gladly use it because it's very unlikely that I'll die. But for now, I don't want to really risk it. So I'm just gonna start organising this. You can extract, and I think that's everything. We'll put the philosopher's lamp. Yeah, there we go. So we are going to finish this challenge today. Pumpkin, no, I spelled it wrong. It's P-A, yeah. Pumpkin bomb. Takes a normal arboretum. So we need 4 gold, ton of bronze, and some glass. And I've burnt up all my stones, still so I can get it confused. Great. Just gotta work our way down. And sometimes you get to a point where you can't actually work your way down because you've got too much stuff. It just shows things of that EMC. So you actually have to go and mine things up. It's really annoying. And that's why, if there's a transmutation table in equivalent exchange 3, I'd like there to be like a way to filter it, and just like, I mean, name search would be good. If not name search, just an EMC value search. You know, it makes you need to know something from the mod. But some way just to search the table or search the items to try and find out what their EMC value is. It would just make things so much easier when making items, because you'd just be able to say, oh, I want a piston, just search piston, and you can just pull it straight out because you've got it to your transmutation table. And I also think that creating an item should cost more than like destroying an item. So basically you get less EMC when you destroy an item, and then when you create, then it costs to create it, and say that EMC is like gone into the environment or something like that. Just as a balance perspective, because E2 was really overpowered, because you could just go out, grab the resources, teach it to your table, and then just never go back outside again. You could just sit there with your transmutation table and just be like a hoarder. So as you can see, we have just finished the challenge. While I was talking, I made these pumpkin farm, plant pumpkins. Biopower generator uses biofuel or biomass to create energy, and a still turns biomass into biofuel if provided with energy. So all they go into the monument. Let's get out of here because we got frame rate, got frames. Come on. When I get to there, when the door opens, door hasn't opened yet. I like that with the delay. I don't know whether that's an intentional delay, but you just get to see the door open. So there's Lapis. Now, the next one we're going to do, I think, is Advanced Machines. And that requires a few items that we currently don't have. And there's some tricks to get them. And also, some just simply require UU matter. There's no way to get around it. But there you go, we've got Lapis now. And I think that's going to be the end of this episode. So, just a quick recap on the episode. We finished up our IT2 Advanced Machine setup, and we are now no longer in the Bronze Age, because we have just completed the Bronze Age challenge. As you can see, this is filling up pretty quick. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.